Culture. Culture is a term that refers to a large and diverse set of mostly intangible aspects of social life. According to sociologists, culture consists of the values, beliefs, system of language, communication, and practices that people share in common and that can be used to define them as a collective. Learned behavior. A learned behavior is one that an organism develops as a result of experience. Learned behaviors contrast with innate behaviors, which are genetically hardwired and can be performed without any prior experience or training. Culture is abstract. Culture is a shared ways of doing and thinking. There are degrees of visibility of culture behavior, ranging from the regularized activity of a person to their internal reason for so doing. In other words, we cannot see culture, as such we can only see human behavior. Culture is a pattern of learned behavior. Culture is a pattern of learned and shared behavior and beliefs of a particular social, ethnic, or age group. It can also be described as a complex of whole collective humans with a structured stage of civilization that can be specific to a nation or time period. Culture is a product of behavior. Culture is the sum of total of the learned behavior of a group of people that are generally considered to be the tradition of that people and are transmitted from generation to generation. Culture is collective programming of a mind that distinguishes the member of one group or category of people from another. Culture defines attitudes, values, and goals. Each person learns in his culture what is good, true, and beautiful. Attitudes, values, and goals are defined by the culture, while the individual normally learns them as an unconscious as he learned the language. Attitudes are tendency to feel and act in a certain ways. Culture also includes materials objects. Material culture refers to the physical objects, resources, and spaces that people use to define their culture. These includes homes, neighborhoods, cities, schools, churches, temples, mosques, goods and products, stores, and so forth. Culture is shared by the member of society. Culture is everything made, learned, or shared by the member of society, including values, beliefs, behaviors, and material objects. Culture is learned, and it varies tremendously from society to society. Culture is superorganic. Culture that are conceived as being superior to the individual members of the society. Culture is pervasive. Culture is pervasive. It touches every aspect of life. Word pervasive means widespread, prevalent, or diffusive, within which individual action and response take place. Not only emotional but rational actions are governed by cultural norms. Culture is a way of life. Culture means simply the way of life of a people or their design for living. A culture is a historically derived system of explicit and implicit design for living, which tends to be shared by all especially designed members of a group. Culture is a human product. Culture is not a force, operating by itself and independent of the human actors. There is an unconscious tendency to defy culture, to endow it with life and treat it as a thing. Culture is a creation of society in interaction and depends for its existence upon the continuations of society. Culture is idealistic. Culture embodies the ideas and norms of a group. It is the sum total, the idea, patterns, and norms of the behavior of a group. Culture consists of the intellectual, artistic, and social ideas and institutions which the member of the society profess and how they strive to confirm. Culture is transmitted among members of society. The cultural ways are learned by person from person. Many of them are handed down by one's elders, by parents, teachers, and others. Other cultural behaviors are handed up to elders. Culture is continually changing. All cultures change through time. No culture is static. However, most cultures are basically conservative in that they tend to resist change. Some resist more than others by enacting laws for the preservation and protection of traditional culture patterns while putting up barriers to aliens, ideas, and things. Culture is variable. Culture is variable and changeable. It varies the changes from society to society because each and every society has its own culture. It also varies within a society from time to time. Ways of living of people of a particular society varies from time to time. Culture is an integrated system. Culture is an integrated system of learned behavior patterns that are characteristics of members of any given society. Culture refers to the total way of life of people. Language is a chief vehicle of culture. A specialized language pattern serves as a common bond to the member of a particular group or subculture. Although culture is transmitted in a variety of ways, language is one of the most important vehicles for perpetuating cultural patterns. Culture defines situations. Each culture has many cell cues which define each situation. It reveals whether one should prepare to fight, run, laugh, or make love. For example, suppose someone approaches you with the right hand outstretched at waist level. Culture defines attitudes, values, and goals. Each person learns in his culture what is good, true, and beautiful. Attitudes, values, and goals are defined by the culture, while the individual normally learns them as an unconscious as he learned the language. Attitudes are tendency to feel and act in a certain ways. Culture defines myths, legends, and the supernatural. Whether they are true in sociologically unimportant, ghosts are real to the people who believe in them and who act upon his belief. We cannot understand the behavior of any group without knowing something of the myths, legends, and supernatural beliefs they hold. Culture provides behavior patterns. Culture functions to deeply influence, control, and direct behavior and life of the individual of a group. Culture provides pattern of acceptable behavior and belief. It is the human-made part of the environment, the total way of life of a people, the social legacy that the individual acquires from his group. Culture and society. Culture and society are intricately related. A culture consists of the objects of a society, whereas a society consists of the people who share a common culture. When the terms culture and society first acquire their current meanings, Most people of the world work and live in a small group in the same locale.